Hello and welcome to part 3 of Frozen Winter. I'm Jana here at the Crafty Corner, and today we're going to be assembling a full journal spread. We've been playing with the die set, abstract elements, as well as some frozen mediums from Ranger and Tim Holtz. So let's go ahead and start assembling our journal layout. If you'd like to see which supplies I'm going to be using, go ahead and pause here. All right, let's head over to the Crafty Corner. So for part 3, we're going to start creating our journal entry. So this is one of the journals I've been working in. It is a good thick journal with multimedia pages in here. This is a Dina Wakley journal. So let's go ahead. We're going to back the camera up just a little bit so that we can see what we're doing. So to start our journal spread, I'm going to be laying down a foundation using some Liquitex Basic Acrylic Gesso. We've got a little bit of bleed through from a previous page, but not a big deal. We can just take the gesso and put some on here, and then we'll have a nice clean background to work on. So I'm just going to grab a paintbrush and we're just going to smear on our foundation. For the background, I've decided that I want to use distress sprays and distress oxides. This, I'm hoping, is going to give us a wonderful winter feel, and this is also going to give us a chance to play around with our Ranger mediums and add some texture to this as well. After we've added the texture and the color, then we will start bringing in the different elements that we made during part 2 of this video segment for the Frozen Winter. So we're going to get positively frigid. I am currently working on a layout that is going to be showcasing the super cute direwolf that we made earlier in part 1 using the new die cuts abstract elements. So we need to give our wolf an icy environment. The direwolf is based off the character of Ghost from Game of Thrones, so we will be creating a scene from the north, possibly the haunted forest. And to do that, we're going to want all of our icy cold distress colors. The distress colors that I'm going to be pulling in today include Broken China, Snow Flurries, Speckled Egg, and Salvaged Patina. Depending on how this is coming out, I probably will throw in a bit of chipped Sapphire to add some darkness to a couple of the areas on the journal. But mostly I'm trying to work with the icy snow colors. Oh, and of course we are also going to need to throw in another one of the Distress Mica Spray Stains, Winter Frost, which will be absolutely perfect for winter is coming. Okay, so let's start layering up some of our background color. I'm going to be starting off with some Salvaged Patina. This is kind of going to be the highlight color. And then let's go in with some of the Broken China. Ooh, so far I'm liking. And next, I want to come in from the sides with some Speckled Egg. Yep, that's definitely given a wintry look to this. That's definitely an icy blast. Okay, now I'm thinking kind of in the center, I do want to add some chipped sapphire. So I'm going to just add that right in here. Ooh, I am definitely liking that. I think I'm going to need a little bit more speckled egg to balance this out, but that is starting to look dramatic. This is why I absolutely love spray stains. Spray stains are a quick and easy way to get color on a page and add a bit of dramatic flair. Okay. Ooh, running a little low on speckled egg. Oh, it's a good color. I've been using a lot of it. All right. So I'm going to start by drying off this layer. We're going to go ahead and put that on fast forward, and then we're going to come back in with some accent colors using the Distress Mica Spray Stains. All right. And winter is here with our icy cold background. Now, for the background, I did add in a little bit of Distress Mica Spray Stain. We have added some Winter Frost and Snow Flurries. I also added a few drips onto here with the Distress Mister Sprayer. And the problem is, when we go into collage our pieces in, this is still a water-soluble product, and the collage medium is going to smear all of the wonderful drippiness in the background. So, how do we keep all this fun drippiness back here and all the speckly flecklies? Well, we need to seal this up, and I'm going to be doing that with some Distress Resist Spray. And this stuff, I can tell you, does not come off your glass mat unless you're prepared to be going in there with a razor blade and scraping it off bit by bit. And I do not want to ever have to do that again. So I'm going to be bringing in the splat box to help protect my work surface. I've got a splat box right here. I'm going to have to do the journal in 2 parts. We're going to be spraying one page and then spraying the other. I am also bringing in some paper towel just to make sure that we do not drip anywhere on the work surface. Okay, and we'll just slump the journal down as low as it's going to go right here, making sure that that is well within the box. Now, with the resist spray, very, very, very important. As soon as we sprayed this, and once we're done spraying, we need to go wash out the nozzle. If we don't wash the nozzle out, it is going to clog. I have gone through at least 4 different nozzles, so I'd like to save this one. All right, let's go ahead and spritz this. Now, it's going to appear to be kind of a purple hazy color, but when it dries, it is going to be dry and clear. So let's go ahead and spray down this side of the journal layout. Okay, that is looking okay. As you can see, we definitely have some of that purple haze going on. That is quite all right. It's going to dry clear, so I'm just going to move the journal over. We're going to get the other side, and I just want to make sure everything on the work surface is covered. So there we go. Let's scooch that down just a little bit. Excellent. And spray. Alright, so I am feeling pretty happy with this. We're going to be setting aside the journal and letting it have a chance to dry before we start layering on our collage elements. So let's go ahead and move this out of the splat box and lay this down nice and flat. You can definitely see the shine on here, so we're going to have a bit of a shiny surface after this dries. But the important thing is that all of the splotchy inkiness and all of those wonderful dots are going to stay in place and not disappear when we add our collage medium to the page, because right now we've got some fantastic drips going on. All right, we'll be back in a little bit as soon as this has had a chance to dry. For the first element that we're going to be adding to our journal spread, it is going to be some of the collage paper that we have altered. So I want to do a little bit of a border just running around the edges of this with the collage paper. So I'm going to be taking some Distress Collage Medium, and we're going to be spreading it around the areas that I'd like to add the collage paper to. So if we put the collage medium down first, it should give us a fairly transparent layer. At least that is the hope. So let's go ahead. We're going to just spread down that collage medium. And I will start tearing off chunks of our altered collage paper. So the collage paper was altered with some stamps, and we also used the Distress Ink, Salvaged Patina, Mermaid, Lagoon, and Prize Ribbon. So let's see, maybe if I just tear and get a nice jaggedy triangle. Let's see how that does. Yep, that will work right here. And I'll need a little bit more over here. Let's see. Yep, something like that. That should work. And we can just rip off the rest of this. Good. All right, now I'm just going to lay some collage medium over the top and see how that works out. And I'll add a little bit more over there, but I really want this to be a semi-transparent layer. I want the stamping to show up, but I really want the colors in the background to pop through as well. Oh, there we go. We're just gonna have to rub a lot of collage medium on that and make sure it really soaks in so that we can see the layer beneath this. There we go. Now, the ink that I used for stamping was Distress Archival, so that's going to hold up really well as we are layering. It's not going to be smooshing, and better yet, our color behind this layer won't be bleeding because we sealed it with some of the Distress Resist spray. And that is giving us this really neat layered effect. And I'm hoping that the transition between where we've got the collage paper and where we don't have the collage paper is going to be very, very smooth, very seamless. I just want that to blend into our snowy landscape without too much evidence that we actually have a hidden layer here. I would have loved to have stamped directly on the page, but because of the texture of the page, there's just no way I was going to get a clean stamped look by directly stamping on here, but that's okay. We use the tools that we have to get the effects that we want to create. All right, so we're just going to keep brushing that in, just kind of burnish it and try to get those layers to blend. Okay, this side is looking really good. I'm very happy with that. But over here, it's not quite blending yet. Hopefully if I just apply a little bit more pressure, there we go, the layer is starting to become a little bit more transparent. But I can also help this blend by adding some texture paste over the top. That should help this blend in as well. All right, last little piece, I'm going to tuck that right here, and we'll add some more collage medium. See how that blends into the darker bits up top. So I'm pretty happy with the way this has blended out. I'm going to be doing the other side next, so we can go ahead and put that part on fast forward. So here is our foundation to build our scene on. We have successfully sealed this with some of the Distress Resist spray stain so that our colors are not going to start wandering off on us. And we've also laid down some collage medium with some of the collage paper that we have altered. Now it is time to paint the iconic wall. So to do that, I'm going to be pulling in a little bit more of the acrylic gesso. And I'm just going to be working with a fairly thin layer because I really want most of the work to come from the distress paints. So I'm going to be watering this down just a little bit, and we're going to get the basis of our wall, and then I'm going to be adding in some icy accents with the distress paint. So I'm just going to have the wall kind of come up this way and wander off the page, and we're just going to kind of an outline like this and just have it fade. Perfect. All right, and since I don't want this to cover up all of that wonderful work we did before, I'm just going to kind of have the wall fade in and out through the patterns that we already put down, and that's just going to help with the really cool icy look. So I'm just using a rough brush, nothing special. I believe this was from the dollar store. So just using that to lay down the paint, and then I will go in with a flat brush for a bit more of the detail work. To get the effect of some rough ice on the wall of the Night's Watch, I am just quickly moving the brush up and down and just trying to get a thin layer of paint. It actually looks like I might have a little bit too much paint, so that's not a bad thing. All right, and we'll just have the wall taper off right there. Perfect. right, I'm just going to kind of scrape off that little bit of extra and wipe that on something. Okay. Next, I'm going to give this a quick blast with the heat tool, and then we're going to go in with our icy details and some distress paint. I'm also thinking I might want to add a bit of distress glitter to accent some of the ice, but back in a moment after we've got this dried off. Now that this portion is dry, I'm going to be going in with some different distress paints. For the ice accents, I'm going to be starting with a bit of Mermaid Lagoon. This is going to give us hopefully some sharper edges to work off of. So I'm just putting a dot of paint off to the side on my media mat, and I'm going in with a flat brush this time. So I'm just going to be drawing a couple of quick lines just to get some of those accents in there. Okay, nothing too prominent. Kind of want these to blend in and not stick out too much. Okay, that's good. Next, I'm going to grab some distress paint, Stormy Sky. Again, just putting a small drop off to the side. We don't really need a lot, which is nice. So just going in and adding a little bit here and there. Let's see. Kind of want to have that blending in. I want that color to go around the base. Yeah. I absolutely love the distress paint range. There are so many wonderful blue colors that we can use for ice, so this really does fit well with our theme, Frozen Winter. Okay. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Next, I think I'd like a dash of Speckled Egg. So, sticking a little bit off to the side, and I think I'll put this closer to the top of the wall just to kind of define where the edges are. Just gonna tap that on. Yep, that is working perfectly, and then we'll just brush that down a little bit to blend that in with the white. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I think that we're getting a really good icy look, and the speckled egg is definitely making that transition really nice. Okay. Now I want just a little bit of a darker color near the base. We're going to go in with some Faded Jeans. And that we're just going to kind of brush and flick upwards. There we go. Okay, well, I think I need a little bit more speckled egg. I want to soften those lines out just a little bit. The Mermaid Lagoon really packed a punch, a bit more than I wanted it to, but the speckled egg should be good and can soften that out just a little bit. There we go. There. Much better. I still want some of that Mermaid Lagoon there, just not quite that noticeable. Okay. All right, I am very happy with this. I'm going to give that a quick dry, and then we're going to be adding some of our frozen mediums to this. Since we're talking about the frozen winter, what better way than to start layering with our frozen mediums? And to start, I'm going to be using this stencil that came with the Stamptember Tim Holtz stamp set from 2022, and we're going to be adding some Distress Texture Paste Matte. So we're going to have some lovely snowfall coming down. Okay, going in with a palette knife and scraping up some of our medium. Since the page is sealed, we aren't going to have any color lifting onto our snow, which is an absolute bonus. So we're just going to take this, run it through the stencil onto the page, and add some snow. All right, let's see how that looks. Ooh, I like it. So I'm just going to continue with that, going across the page, and I might add some dripping down a little bit more here and there, but I want to leave space because I'm going to be going in with some of the translucent Crackle paste as well. Okay, I want to make sure that I get this high as well as low. Okay, lift. Ooh, that texture through here is just absolutely awesome. I love it. All right, now let's do a quick check. I am going to be putting a moon in the center of this, so let's see. Let's put the stencil here. A little bit more collage medium. Now this stuff is fantastic, and I found that it spreads mostly like peanut butter. So it's got a great consistency and very, very easy to apply. All right, I don't want to smush the other snow that I put down. Okay, and lift. So far, so good. I'm getting a little bit of accumulation on here, but not a big deal. I can wash this out easily in the sink after. Okay, lift. Great. I like that a lot. I think I just want a little bit more over here in this one corner. That didn't quite come out the way I wanted it to, but that'll be okay. All right, I am happy with the snowfall on here. That is looking very wintry. I might add a little bit more up here later, but I'm going to wait until the majority of the texture paste has dried. Now we're going to be going in with that translucent Crackle paste and getting some real ice on here. This is the true north, so we're talking absolutely frozen. Okay, translucent Crackle paste. Take that, clean off the palette knife. And at this point, I'm going to apply the translucent Crackle paste, and then we are going to be adding in some glittering accents. So this stuff, it's more liquidy. Like I said before, kind of like warm honey. But we're just going to take that. I'm going to run it up the side of the journal page, just like that. Kind of like what we did on our little sample tag. And then we're just going to bring that down, and we're gonna plaster this. I love this texture, and since we're talking frozen, we're gonna make this frozen. We're gonna make it positively icy. So I'm just scraping this over the page, and I'm expecting that this could take potentially up to an hour to dry, just given the amount that I'm putting on here. And I want to have the ice creeping up the wall just a bit in places. So I'm trying to be uneven and not really have any straight lines in here. Just randomness and ice. Lots of ice. Okay. So I'm just going to keep moving this along on this side. Let's scoot this over just a bit, and we'll run this up a little bit on the side of the page, just like that, and down, then over the rest of these corners over here. Okay, this is going to look really cool when it's all dry. Now hopefully it's not going to flake off too badly, but you know what, if it does, it's just going to look all that more frozen and shattered, and that's going to be okay. All right. So I'm going to be leaving that to dry, and the last thing I'm going to do will be to add just a couple of spritzes of glitter. The glitter I'm going to mostly focus on going along the base of the wall to show where the snow is drifting. There we go. And I'm using the Distress glitter duster from Stampers Anonymous, which is a really easy way to apply glitter so it's not going everywhere. Okay, well, I am pretty happy with this. We're going to set this aside, and we will be back to see how our frozen northern landscape is looking. Yeah, our paint has had a chance to dry, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of that crackle. It definitely crackled, and we have got some fantastic looking ice down here, and you can definitely see the spots where we added touches of distressed glitter. It's very sparkly. So I want to really highlight these crackly bits, so we're going to be going in with some distress crayon. And for distress crayon, I'm going to be using a combination of tumbled glass, speckled egg, and picket fence. So starting down here, I think we'll drop in a little bit of the tumbled glass first and see how that works. Okay, so tumbled glass is not really, oh, maybe, let's see, add a little bit more here and just see what we get. Oh, maybe that's going to work. It looked like it was going to color blend for a moment, but working that into the page, I'm starting to see some of the crackles. Okay. All right, so we're going to use a bit of the tumbled glass around here. I'm just going to scribble that on, and then I'm smushing it into the crackly bits just with a finger. I'll go back after and wipe off some of the extra that's going to be laying on top of the crackly bits with a damp paper towel, because the idea is that we want to highlight the crackles, but we don't want to dull down the really nice shine. Okay, not bad. Let's see how speckled egg does. I'm going to run a bunch of that along the sides over here. Yep, that's a little bit more noticeable, which is kind of nice. Okay, got that. And we'll just smush that in. Okay, definitely liking the speckled egg. That's giving a good effect. There we go. Nice and smudged. Now I do want a few bits of the picket fence. Let's see how that looks on here. Oh, and as expected, the picket fence is going to be showing up the most notably. Okay, great. So now that I've got a better idea of what I'm doing, we're going to scribble more of that picket fence down, and I'm going to go through on the other side and just kind of highlight bits and pieces where I want the crackle to be very noticeable, and a few places where it could be a little bit more subtle. Okay, very happy with this. So let's grab the speckled egg, and we're going to scribble some over here. Okay, smush that in. Oh, we got a little bit of paint coming up, but not too bad. I ended up sealing the crackle paint with an extra layer of Distress Resist spray because I was afraid that we were going to have some of it trying to come off of the page. It kind of acts like a little bit of glue just to keep everything in place, but it looks like I'll have a few spots that are going to try to come off the page, but not a big deal. We can just avoid those spots and not rub too much crayon on it. Okay. Ooh, definitely liking this quite a bit. All right, a little bit more here. And then I'm going to go in with a slightly damp paper towel. Then we're going to be into the home stretch where we're going to be adding some elements. Okay, yep, super happy with this. You know, I don't think I've ever spent this much time on the foundation of a journal spread, but it was totally worth it. But between all of the snow, the icy look, all of the mediums we put on here, that has been a lot of fun. Okay, so paper towel, quick little spritz, and we're just going to very carefully dab off that little bit of extra distress crayon that's going to be resting on the top of the page. Okay, good. All right, time for the elements to be applied. So first thing, I want to add our Distress Crackled Moon. I'm going to take that and we're going to be splitting our circle in half. That way it can span both parts of the journal page. Not perfect, but that's okay. I can go here, and this is going to go here. I want to make sure that my page can actually close. So that's why we are adding the moon in pieces. All right, we need some collage medium, and we're just going to glue that down. Okay, that should be pretty good for collage medium. Let's take that. We're going to stick that right here. Nice and crackly. A nice contrast in the sky compared to all of the icy blue around it. All right, that's good. I'm just going to hold that in place. I don't want that to wander off. And we will take care of the other side. Okay, I'm just going to try to flatten that out just a little bit. Move this down. Okay. And we're just going to be applying our collage medium here. And then we can stick this portion of the moon down as well. So I'm going to put that over here. And I'm going to be hanging on to this for a few seconds just to make sure that the collage medium adheses and we don't have any pieces peeling up. So for the embellishments we're going to be adding on here, I wanted to start with our dire wolf. This is going to be going over here, and well, let's just do a rough layout. Then let's put our sentiment right here. We've got our little Night's Watch badge thing. I'm going to put that one over here. This feels a little bit empty, and I kind of want to move some things around, but I'm not quite sure what I want to move just yet. I've also got this piece here, but if I put that down, then it's going to hide way too much of the wall. So maybe I will just stick that there. The direwolf could go here, and then my sentiment. I don't know, there's something off with the balance of all this. Maybe this is too big, so we could unstick the direwolf. He's just resting on some foam tape. And place the direwolf onto the tag. Ooh, that isn't bad. I like that. Now he blends a little bit more into the scenery. I still want that ring, so maybe I can salvage the ring off of here. I don't know. Maybe not. Let me see. Okay, I cannot decide what this needs, but I have an idea for what I could add. I want to add a raven into here. So we're going to be taking these wings and we're going to be stamping them onto some collage paper. Then I'll lay that down here, and then I will paint in the rest of the raven, and that's just going to be swooping across the page, and I think that's going to give the balance that I am currently missing in this setup. All right, let's go get the collage paper. So all I'm doing is setting the book aside for a moment, and we're going to take our collage paper. We're going to want some distressed black archival ink, and I need to get a stamping block. So we're just going to take our stamp and place that on the stamping block, and then we're going to take our distressed black archival soot ink. I'm going to quickly stamp this up. I will also need to grab some black soot distress paint. Okay, that looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and stamp this out right here. I think this should give us pretty much the outline of the wings that I want, and I should be able to easily paint in the rest of the raven. Okay, that is good. I will be right back with some black distress paint. So with the black distress paint, I'm just going to be painting the rest of the features for a raven. So I'm going to do some tail feathers. That's pretty good. Just kind of make this a little splotchy because I want that to blend with the stamp. And then just like that. probably go back and add an eye in a little bit. All right, there's the body of the bird, and then we have the wings coming out. Okay, that worked better than I had planned. Awesome. So I'm going to quickly draw that off, and then we will cut this out and see how we can collage that onto our background. And here is our raven all cut out and dry. So let's go ahead and see how that looks for placement on here. Oh, that's even better than I thought. Oh my word. That is really cool. Okay, let's see here. How do I want to stick that down? Right there. Okay, I like it. Got our raven flying in, and I can put my little seal over here. Okay, this just worked out really, really well. I'm very, very happy. Okay, and I can actually stick this down at the same time, since that already has some adhesive on it. Okay, great. So I decided to completely get rid of the background for the direwolf. The direwolf is awesome all on his own and can just hang out right here next to the sentiment. That works out perfectly. And we'll just kind of put his paw right there. He's just leaning up against the sign. Okay, so now I will take some collage medium and glue down the little plaque right here that can sit and hang out, and that should be set in a little bit. Now we're going to take some collage medium, stick that on the back of our raven, and I'm going to just gently smoosh that on here because I want this to lay as flat as possible, and I'm hoping to get that really cool transparency look that I did earlier when we were collaging the stamped pieces onto the journal. Okay, good. And we want that to go here. I'm going to tilt that just a little bit because I want that off the snow texture. Okay, there we go. And now we'll run some collage medium over the top. All right, might as well use up the container here. Okay, there we go. And I'm just going to spread that around, trying to make sure that everything is really covered. So this is just going to blend into the background. I want everything to look seamless and not like I cut this out of another piece of paper. Okay. Oh, I am so happy with this raven. Those stamps with the wings are absolutely perfect. And incidentally, that set is set CMS 116 Royal Script. Definitely one of my favorite stamps. I love the text on here, and those wings are perfect. All right, so we're just going to smush that collage medium around until the collage paper starts to blend with the background, not too roughly because we don't want our paper to shred. Okay, I'm just making little circles with my finger and just trying to get that collage medium to soak in so that we can see some of our wonderful backdrop behind it. Now, I'm totally okay with a little bit of a ghostly outline. That's just kind of cool. But for the most part, I really want this blended in. Okay. I think we're just about at a good spot. Almost. Okay. There we go. We have our raven, we've got our direwolf, we've got a full moon, we've got our sentiment, and a little plaque. So I am very, very happy with the way this spread has finally turned out. I just want to make sure that this is sitting level. There. Okay, not quite as done as I thought. I was looking at this for 2 seconds and I wanted to add a tree on this side for the wolf to lean against. Okay, so we're going to take some ground espresso and we're just going to paint a rough tree over there, and then I'm going to give it some texture with some speckled egg and pumice stone. Okay, paintbrush, and this. Very simply, we're just going to run the tree root right here, and then the tree is going to curve up. I really do love freehanding when I am working on an art journal. That is part of the creation process that I definitely enjoy quite a bit. Okay, and incidentally, the Crackle paste underneath is going to give us a nice tree bark texture, so that's an added bonus that I hadn't even thought about, so that is good. Okay, just painting this on. There we go. All right, just need a little bit more paint to finish off that tree branch, and then I will have my tree. You know, I don't even think I'm going to add anything else to this. I like that just the way it is. Just a dark tree like this. So make sure everything's covered and the tree is looking very tree-like. Okay. And then I will just plop the direwolf right over this. All right, now it's balanced. Now it's good. I don't know, something earlier was bugging me. It just didn't quite feel balanced. We had the raven, which was bringing up the space nicely on this side, but this side just, it felt uneven to me. But I'm happy it's balanced. Let's go ahead and dry this off, and we'll be back for a closer look. Here is the completed journal spread. So down here we have our direwolf that was created with the Sizzix die set paper cut elements. And then as we go up, we can see that we have lots of texture. This is some of the Distress Collage matte paste, and it made wonderful snow. Then over here we have our Silvery Moon, which was altered with some of the Distress Crackle paint. So we've got some really nice crackles over here. And moving this way, we have our raven made with a stamp and some black soot paint. The wall of ice was created with a variety of distress paints, primarily Speckled Egg and a bit of Stormy Skies and Faded Jeans. Then coming down here, we can see all of our wonderful icy texture. This is a combination of the translucent Crackle paste and the Distress Crackle paint. We also have a splattering of Distress Clear Rock Candy. And over here, for our last frozen medium, we have some of the texture paste Snowfall, and that just makes wonderful snow. Also in the background, we added some Distress Mica spray stains to give more of a wintry frozen vibe. Those included Snowfall and Winter Frost. For the little emblem down in the corner, I painted the wax seal with some Distress Paint Brushed Pewter. Thank you so much for joining me here today at the Crafty Corner while we create to the theme of Frozen Winter. I hope that you too will join the creative Frozen fun and show us all of your wonderful works using frozen elements. Don't forget to hashtag your creations at hashtag #TheFunkieJunkie. This creative challenge is open from January 25th through February 7th. We hope to see all of your fantastic creative works. And I hope that you've enjoyed this journey for Frozen Winter. Until next time, happy crafting.